Just kind of throws an elbow, kind of comes across and just, you know what?
Well, this is weird. Can't say I'm surprised, just a little disappointed that this is still going on. First off, I want to say this video is sponsored by the Department of Player Safety for the NHL. Oh wait, they don't have enough money. They didn't find McDavid enough. $5,000 for the best player in the world, Connor McDavid, for this cheap hit on Jesperi Kotkaniemi. I don't know what else to say, except, McDavid, I thought you were better than that. Like, I don't understand how Oilers fans are defending this hit. It was late. It was cheap. It was terrible. And $5,000. He pays more for dinner in Edmonton. Like, come on. Do better. I'm not going to complain so much and say any other player is going to get a suspension for this, because that's just not true. Example number 1, Dylan Dubé on this hit. Example number 2, Eric Goodbranson on this hit. Example number 3, Tyler Myers on this hit on Yoel Armia. All of them hits to the head. All of them against the Habs. All of them this season. None of them suspended. McDavid got a fine. That should be a win for the Habs in my book, because at least they did something. I was hoping for more, but I wasn't really expecting more. But this can't continue to go on where players get hit in the head and there's no consequences if they're a league superstar. Like McDavid. There is no excuse for this hit. It's cheap through the neutral zone, right at center ice. Kotkaniemi dropped the puck off and was going for a change. It's not smart for McDavid to do this when we have Alexander Romanov, we have Joel Edmondson, Ben Sherratt's probably coming back soon, and we have Shea Weber, and we can always call up Cale Fleury at any time. Oh, by the way, we have Corey Perry, so that'll do something. And I'm just saying this. The Oilers play the Habs 5 more times this season. So, we know that this isn't going to go unrecognized. The reason McDavid didn't have to fight last night or didn't get hit was because the Habs were leading. And the Habs were smart enough to just leave him alone. It's not going to be the same in the next 5 games. I don't know who's going to be sitting out for 5 or more, because we know if there's another hit like this on McDavid, it's going to be a suspension. Romanov can hit. Edmondson can hit. We can finally see what Joel Edmondson was really brought over to be. We can finally see again Ben Sherratt, why he's a Canadian. And Cale Fleury, he can hit really hard. I don't want to injure Connor McDavid. I don't want to be that petty. But if that's what it comes to, he's kind of asking for it at this point. He knows the personnel that we have. He just saw Legason get completely destroyed by Josh Anderson. He took a puck to the face. They allowed a goal like 19 seconds into the game. He was frustrated. I 100% get the frustration. But just because you're frustrated doesn't mean you can get away with that. It's just disgusting by the NHL. Peros needs to be fired. They need to do better. When are they going to start taking hits to the head seriously like the NFL has? It's ridiculous. They're leaving their players completely vulnerable. Like concussions, you wonder why injuries happen so often in hockey. It's because there's no consequences for certain players when they take a cheap hit. Connor McDavid got 2 games for this hit. He got $5,000 for this hit. How is that remotely comparable? I think a player with a record like McDavid, he should have had at least 2 games. That's what I say. I'm not saying that any other player would have been suspended, like I said, because they wouldn't be. We saw it. This is the 4th headshot this season two Canadiens players that has gotten almost nothing. We should be happy with a fine, I guess. I asked you guys on Twitter to leave questions, so I guess I'm going to answer those. Craig Button said that McDavid's hit on Kotkaniemi on the shoulder, not the elbow. People still listen to Craig Button in 2021? What? When he's calling Habs games, I turn the channel to RDS, and I don't speak a drop of French. I can't understand anything they're saying. Slick Nick asks, what do you think should have been the right punishment for it? I'm not going to say how many games. Oh, I would have been happy with even one at this point. He's the best player in the league. He's the face of the league. There needs to be a consequence for any player that does this. I understand that he's getting hit pretty cheaply against Toronto and other teams, and I understand the frustration about that. But there was no motive for this. It was completely unnecessary. And there needs to be consequence no matter what name and number is on the back of your jersey. Every player needs to be held to the same standard, and they need to start taking hits to the head more seriously, because they're going to end up with players that are going to be hits, and it's going to end their career. And I just don't want to see that in the league. I'd say one game would have been happy. More than $5,000. He makes $200,000 a game. $5,000 is nothing. It was a cheap hit. It was a late hit. It was just McDavid being McDavid because McDavid knows he can get away with it from the league. That is nothing to him. Absolutely nothing. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the fact that Kotkaniemi sat on the bench for a minute and then went back out there and started playing. And on the power play, at least he got a penalty for it. I guess that's something we can be happy about. But it was a bad hit. It's frustrating. He didn't have the puck anymore, and he was just skating to the bench through the neutral zone, and McDavid comes by, elbow up, completely destroys him. It's sad to see that the NHL isn't going to take these seriously. They're how players are going to get knocked out of this league, whether they're star players or bottom sixers. It's no difference. It doesn't make sense. It's just how the league's been working. And I really hope for McDavid's sake that he doesn't get very close with Joel Edmondson next game. Or Romanov, who hits harder. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe, I guess. This is probably going to be copyrighted by the NHL, so subscribe to feel my misery, I guess. I don't really know what to say. I'm not surprised at all, just disappointed. It's never going to change. It's how it's going to be, and the fans just have to live with it. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.